got another cold open into a stream straight up video game. It's right here, right in front of us. Kingdom Hearts. Today I am a very small man, as you may notice. And I am gonna talk to these little Koopo dudes, the Moogles, and they're gonna tell me what ingredients I need for stuff. And I'm gonna vaguely try to remember how I got any of the ingredients for the stuff. Fury Stone, I know I want that. What about the Moogle badge? I want a Frost Stone. No, oh, hello, Haster. You have redeemed first. You've beaten Hype to it. I think he may be asleep. Like he should be. You should be, I think. I don't know what your time situation is, but it's certainly a time of day. You did. You are now the first person to ever be, the first creature, the first anything ever. Time and space started with you. How do you feel? Yeah, I gave out the notification specifically for that. It is nighttime. I know that it's nighttime in your time situation. I just don't know how nighttime it is. Like the degree of nighttimeness which afflicts you, I'm unaware of. I'm sure it does. Sure it does. I got a cup of tea cooling next to me. Remind me about that eventually, so that it doesn't get cold, but I can't drink it while it's hot because I'll not be able to see through these snazzy shades. So I want to build the Moogle badge. So I gotta figure out where the Frost Stone comes from. I am yet to be able to beat. Oh yes, there is a creature that I want to be able to defeat that gives me the weird serendipity thing. Gonna be night a lot of the time. Well then it's no difference, is it? There's nothing to worry about. Enchanted Master Earring. That's not what I'm looking for. Thrill. Have I made all of this? Oh, the Serenity Power gives me enough for an XP earring, which is nice. I'm probably gonna have to grind so much that that's never going to matter, but we'll see. So he's probably out. Yeah, that's been annoying him for a while. I hope he's getting over it. I hope he plays getting over it. That would be even better. That would be the best. That would make him cough if he didn't have one. Not for me, of course, though. I love getting over it. Getting over it's a nice, relaxing game. All you have to do is go up. Alright, so Frost Stone, figure out where the hell to get that. The Fury Stone, I feel like I've had like several of these, but I don't know. And the Serenity Power, I now know where to get it. I just don't know that I'm strong enough to be able to do it. So I'm gonna go down to where that should be and try to get it. I think that's gonna be my goal. Jump. And we can rather quickly get to the location where it's gonna be. Hey, Hype, you've been beaten to being the first individual in existence. You missed the notif, I guess. Or maybe it was slower to you. Let's see. I don't even know how many of these you need. Technically I need at least 3. See, he's trying to convince us that he chose not to be the first individual in existence. I don't believe that for a second. Let's see. Vines it was, I think. It wasn't vines. And this is the wrong kind of... this ain't good. Or Gore? About being the first individual ever? I get it, Hype. I'm not important to you. My praise means nothing. Where the hell am I going? No, it was probably like right next to me. Like right over there. Oh shit. Aha! Easiest thing I've ever done! It was right there. Fudge. That's not what I wanted at all. Actually, this suits me just fine. Wait, this isn't... I might be lost, chat. That was the wrong way. There are invisible walls all around the place. That leads up here. Maybe that's a vine that only grows after a certain thing happens. Not jump on. Examine. What does this do? No. Actually, yes. I don't know what this is for. Jump course. Where am I going? What for? What purpose? Do I lose? I lose the jump course. Alright, I'll figure that out. I think I get something for that. Time trial. They would have been right next to me and I'm a fool. Alright. Alright, where am I going? Other side of the jungle, I'm gonna assume. No way. I was on it. I was on the right thing. I don't know if this is required for anything, but I've discovered it, and I'm going to assume it is. Alright. So I can't go that way? That's... The shape of it is advertising that I should go there. It explains nothing. Why is there no tutorial for this? I am, yeah. They're stylish. Oh, let me zoom in on them, actually. Yeah. They're not in, They're not in sports mode. It's a sign I'm only using 10% of my power. Oh. Fucking... Let's get that off my screen. There we go. Genuinely, what do I do? Alright, I'll get on to this. Jeez. Alright, is that something? No. So this is leading me somewhere. What do I get out of that? Oh, it goes there. Which is somewhere I want to be. Oh, I finished that. It did nothing for me. Oh, well, who cares? This was the wrong way. I can fight like infinite Heartless there. These are very finite Heartless that I hit because they will spawn every single time. I don't know what the spawn rate of the thing I want is, but to me it feels like 0%. And I say that and it's immediately here. So who's the clown now? Me. Give me all of that. All of it. If I miss any of these, I'll cry. Alright. I came out with a net negative because of the positioning of that. I need so much MP, you don't understand. I don't even know if I can get this correctly, either. Yeah. I think so. Alright, so I'm not in combat with that right now. Abilities. Sora. I have this one, and Ragnarok's here. I don't have it. After an aerial combo, unleash that. Sure. Critical damage is not important. It is combo, not for how much damage. Arcane Blast. I like that. I like Combo Master as well. Hydro Attack. Alright, I'll just have to remember to put this back. Alright. What's the MP cost of Ragnarok? Are all of my abilities off? What the hell? That can't be right. No, these are wrong. These are wrong. Okay. 3 MP. Got it, got it, got it. So let's see. I'm going to assume Goofy can make this work for me. And welcome, Raiders! Thank you, Thunderbird VT, for the raid. This is an enemy that is not going to attack me, so I can give you a shout out right now. 1v3 and you won. What kind of fight was it? What game were you playing? What were you up to? I hope you had fun. Third VT. StarCraft Brood War. The last Zerg mission. I don't know what any of that is, but it sounds tough. And I appreciate that you somehow defeated it. I hope it didn't take you too many attempts. That seems infuriating. Let's see.
Goofy! Donald! Wind! Stop! Come on! Take that!
That did not work at all, not even close. Hey, Blue, good to see you as well. I hope you're also doing well. So, Ragnarok just do this. I am not sure how much IRL time it would take me to figure out what it even wanted from me.
Stop.
But you'll see the enemy in a moment.
Stop.
Alright, so let's... There we go. That just works. Good to know. Let's try this.
Goofy. Donald. Wind. Here. Take that.
Okay, there's a limit to how much I can use that. I can't just do that again. I'll have to go wait for it to spawn again. We'll be doing this a lot. I get that it's an extra, but it's a part of the game that's just objectively not fun. I will get no sense of achievement once I've done this. It's just bad.
Here.
Hmm. My tea is not at drinking temperature. So that's nice. I may need it soon. Hmm. Let's go down to this one.
Stop.
That just gave out less MP than the others. For no reason.
Here.
Like, you are not supposed to go net negative off doing this. Ever. Anyway.
Stop.
Not what I wanted.
Goofy. Donald. Wind. Stop. Take that. Sit.
I did it again. No. The delay on that just means I have to do it like right up at him. To anyone who thinks this is a slog, this is objectively the fastest way to do this. It is a slog. It's just objectively bad. This is a part of the game that should not exist.
Stop! Stop!
This thing's somewhere in here. I think it's up on there. Okay. Should be like right up here. There it is. There it is. There are only so many spawn points these can be at.
Goofy! Donald! Defense! Stop! Power! Power!
Yeah, that's less attacks than I can do just normally with my combos. I'm unequipping this. That's outright less. Let's see. I'll put these back on, not that they matter. Like, using that was outright worse than not using it.
Here!
Yeah, I can go straight up there.
Stop!
The starting jingle
Stop!
to this area is starting to annoy me. Because I have heard it that many times. Alright, you two idiots, on me. Okay.
Goofy! Donald! Defense! Stop! Come on! Come on! Take that! Ha! Ha ha!
Alright, roughly the same. Just gotta be a way to do more. Now we're having an ad break. Well, that's gonna give me an opportunity to drink my tea. Alright. Jeffrey Bezos would like his pound of flesh. I will drink my tea during it. I will see you all soon. Alright, well, I've had my tea. Let's see if we can beat this. Spoiler, no. I am drawing all this down to you guys so you can MP Ridge. You're obliterating them. Let's try something else. think I might need to go through more loading zones to, like, actually reset it. It might just lock if you fight an enemy.
Stop! Here!
This will absolutely affect my final view of the experience of this game.
Here! Stop!
What were you up to? I hope it was fun. Welcome in Snackerweave, Jimmy, and Hexadigital. Let's see. Let me get you a shout out while I'm on this screen here. And hey, Jack. Let's see, you were my night. Well, I suppose it's morning, I suppose, but it's still zero light out there, so it's still nighttime. Still nighttime. Morning is soon to be upon me. Slaying the Spire. Ooh. And you beat it. I'm yet to beat that game, although I'm yet to play it. I feel like it's one of those games where it like relies on you making more attempts to beat it. So I don't know how exactly it works. I just know that its soundtrack is amazing. But congrats on beating it. I am currently exploring literally everything in Kingdom Hearts until I find what I need, because I need to be able to stop time for way longer than I currently do. I see. So there's like a true ending to the game? I wouldn't be shocked. Not that I would know how it would work. No, there is a mega boss I can go fight, which I don't think I get anything for. Maybe I do and I forget about it. But I'm gonna go fight the mega boss that's over in here. Hopefully maybe get something from it. And then I'll probably go around exploring this place as well. Because there's bound to be some stuff I've missed, or some stuff that's like popped in. Sure. Because I spent a lot of time in this dungeon, but there's gotta be some new stuff. Alright. So we're gonna fight this guy. We only get to beat him once, and then he's gone from the game forever. I'm pretty sure. Never really thought too heavy on who this guy is. But that's all of our own memories, I think.
And Sam?
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm sure it was. Kingdom Hearts is one of those things that seems very cool, but like any part of it that isn't exactly perfect is utterly insufferable. Like, there are enemies that are objectively not fun to fight, even when you're destroying them. Whoops. Just set something up behind me and in front of me. Note to self, don't let him do that.
Give me strength.
Alright, summon her before they die. Let's see.
Defense. Ha! Ah! This is it. Ah! Ha! Come on.
As long as he's distracted with me, I can get pretty much constant healing. Uh-oh. Restock that. See, that's what I mean by pretty much constant healing there. Jeez. He outputs so much damage. Alright, don't attack him when he's in neutral. No. He healed himself. I forgot he does that. Does Goofy have healing items on him? Donald was up instantly after he went down. Maybe I gave him a second chance and forgot. Let's restop that. Nine. That hurts. He is not taking any damage. Ow. Damage over time. Spellcasting locked? Stun lock? If that attack hits you, you're just dead? Don't get hit by that? I'm a shield player, by the way. That still killed me. Don't know what that attack is, but I just know that if you're hit by it, you die. I'm gonna lose her immediately, by the way. I'm pretty sure I'd have died instantly if I didn't have her on in the first place.
Wind.
God damn. That's not gonna work. Okay, lining buffer sort of fucks over my own heal.
Heal. Donald. Defense. Come on.
Donald's already done somehow. He wasn't anywhere near the enemy. The enemy sneezed and he died. Didn't sneeze anywhere near him. He just likes being dead.
Donald. Heal. Donald.
I'm gonna stand back and watch his patterns for a bit. To see if there's genuinely anything at all predictable about them.
Heal. Defense.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's anything in his arsenal he can't just immediately go into anything after. So I think my turn is entirely based on RNG instead of me having a specific time where it's my turn. Because that's the same move, right? But for one of those, he has that cooldown after it. And it's the exact same move. You see that the way the animation's different on the exact same move? Ah, but Taurus, that means it's not the exact same move. No, it's the exact same. There's nothing different about it. See, there's lightning on that one too.
Donald. This is it. Take that. Come on.
Refresh this. Roll out of the way, I still get hit. The usual. Please heal me. Thank you.
Take that.
Alright, get out of the way of that. Oh. I think I must have gotten him below half health.
Donald.
Start hitting Goofy instead, will ya? I need him to empty your rage, it's more efficient.
Heal.
I am so fucked.
Donald.
You're somehow not even gonna look at him. And he's gonna die. You're gonna be all the way over here. Alright. You can just go straight into that again.
Donald.
You'll poise through that.
Defense.
Refresh this. Up.
Heal.
Heal self. Heal Donald. Out of here.
Come on.
You can just go straight into those from themselves.
This should help. Donald.
Donald, do not jump in to fight him. Heal us first. Goofy. Thank you.
Defense.
You already had enough to do that with 2, but thanks for waiting until you had 3 to MP bat me with 2.
Heal. Donald.
Gotta conserve MP for all of those other MP abilities I didn't equip to you. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Straight up dead. Straight up dead. I can't heal. Shock? Okay, press the A button when that happens.
Donald!
Fuck.
Heal!
I'm assuming this is like his next phase. I can't get away from him. He's on me the entire time. And it's Toho now. What do I do here? If I dodge, it ends that. I guess I can just roll around and wait for them to get up. And he's already done. Alright, so I need that. You're just the like final boss of Lies of P, that's what you are. Didn't get off. I have literally no opportunity. If I am doing anything but this, I get hit. Which begs the question, when is it my turn? I didn't have a turn as weaker phase, that was RNG based. My turn was whenever he decided it was. I'm here to inform you that any non-risk reward design philosophy is objectively wrong. That just auto hits? He just decided to do that. I was nowhere near him. The other times that hit me, I was near him. I thought it was like a requirement or something. There's no requirement for that. He can just decide I take damage anytime he wants. An otherwise good boss becomes bad if it's just wait for good RNG, unfortunately. The only thing I'm gonna do in this entire stream is shit on everyone's favorite game.
Give me strength.
What if this is your favorite game? Really? Doesn't it deserve to be shit on? Like, look at this. Hold up a minute, I gotta wait for the good attack pattern. What do you mean there's no specific attack pattern where I get a turn? So I get a hit in, but he poises through it into his next attack anyway. Which is, if it's an offensive attack, will hit me for more damage than I hit him for. That just completely swerved from its original trajectory. come over here. Wrong attack. But I have to prepare for the other one, because if I don't, it hits me. Donald, why are you trying to use that on him? He's immune to it. Just goes straight for the same attack again. Slightly too early on that first roll. That'll still hit. I need Donald to get up. Unfortunately, he refused. I thought that was enough time, but I guess I was off by like half a second or something. Because he'd been done, I think, longer than Goofy, but that can't have been right. Yeah, when I hit skip, do it.
Courage.
This little scene isn't skippable, by the way, but there's no reason to. Whoop.
Defense. Come on.
Okay.
This is it. Donald.
Donald? Thank you.
Come on.
Oh my god, Donald.
Donald. Wind. Donald.
Why are you even here? You have spells to be casting. I'm always in need of them. Like, I set your task priority. You have a higher priority task to be doing.
This is it.
Other than jumping head first into whatever his current attack pattern is.
Wind.
Stay away from the man in the scary coat. How hard is that to do? You're a caster. You are supposed to target me. Just poise through it. So I wonder what my main method of damaging you is going to be. So when you do the long versions of that or the shield attack, and there's no indication it's going to be a long version either because he waves his hands about for both. straight from after that.
Wind. Take that. This is it. Donald. Defense. This is it. Come on. Take that. This should help. Donald. Defense.
He can just walk into me and push me into his attack. Just with his hitbox.
This should help. Donald. Wind.
It is entirely chance-based whether I get a turn after what he does. He just chooses whether or not it's my turn.
Donald. Come on. Take that. Donald. Defense. Take that. Take that.
He's not in phase 2, which is somehow more absurd. Because he does this. Shock. Shock.
Take that.
Do those inputs mean anything when it says shock down there? Because it's like, okay, press the button to end shock, I guess, but it's not doing it. Is it just for a certain amount of time? Is there, like, a way to prevent him from doing that? As far as I'm aware, there's not. A reminder they expected children to do this with trial and error, with no guides. Like, this was made in an era where they expected you to just play some of your games and not beat all of them.
Courage. Wind.
I can't restart from here. That was the fastest way to the restart screen.
Courage.
Well, I have beat the main game. I technically have no obligation to do this content.
Courage! Defense! This is it! Ha! Ha ha! This is it! Ha! Take that!
Here. You can just go into it straight away again.
Defense!
That should have lasted longer, personally.
Come on! Defense! Come on! This is it! This is it! Come on! Donald! Donald! Come on! This should help. Donald! Wind!
I'm getting such unfortunate luck with the attack patterns. While I know it isn't true, I can't help feel that the game is reading my inputs and just give me the worst attack patterns after the facts.
Defense!
Because there's no, like, absolute safe strategy against this guy.
Heal!
You just have to hope he doesn't decide to fuck you over, which he can do at any time.
Take off! Wind! This is
See, if I hit him there, it'll drag me into the lightning. Like, he just surrounds himself if he uses that close enough to me. And if I hit him, it doesn't stop the move either. It doesn't, like, stun him out of it. Maybe I need to unequip half my kit. Like all of the extra damage, combos, slap shot, all of it. And use only the basic attacks, because the wind up and any other attack is just a missed attack. When he uses those, I'm not able to like keep myself spaced enough to be able to hit him back from it. And even if I do, if he decides to just go into something else off of it, that'll hit me if I hit him back. Maybe there's some sort of cheese strategy that after the fact someone will try to like gaslight me into saying is the intended way to fight him. At the moment, I have absolutely no side of it. So he can still do that normal attack, but he can go into more from it. But I can't see or make sense of them. Oh, so that just, again, that just hits. Why did it stop? Like, what did I do there different? And for some reason he didn't have infinite poise there, like he does all the rest of the time. He didn't just stand through my attack, he got hit and knocked back by it. Got away with that. Fuck. Not good. One of those combos will put me down. Once I can get Donald up. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead here. That still gets me. Right, so I'm beginning to see the gimmick of that attack, right? You have to scroll through your menu, and one of those says release. You have to find it and catch it. by which time it's already done a lot of damage to you. He also one-shots them. We're level whatever the fuck, by the way.
Courage.
His raw damage might be on par with first phase Sephiroth, i.e. the only Sephiroth I've ever seen.
Defense. This is it. This is it.
Okay, it wants to do an ad break, so if I die, I won't go straight into the next run just yet.
Donald. Wind.
Alright, that still doesn't change that I haven't been able to see the difference between the versions of his attacks that have a cooldown, like that one, right? And that one there, which is the exact same attack, but he can go directly into something else. Like, is it just always cancelable? Does he sometimes choose not to? I have no idea. Like, what's the observable phenomena in this dark-ass room that's gonna tell me, hey, this is how it's different?
Heal. Donald. Wind. Take that. Heal. Donald. Defense. This is it. This is it. This is it. Donald. Heal. Donald. Wind. This is it.
I swear I hit the release one.
Heal.
Not enough time.
Donald. Wind. Donald. Heal.
When he does that one,
Come on.
he did in the ad break, so be it. Oh, that just hits. That combo ends someday. Sometime this week. And you can target switch during it. I think the whole purpose of that move is to wipe my party, to be honest. That hits me and I'm dead. Don't get away. Straight into that again? Alright, fix everything, Donald. You know your job. And it goes straight into that, no delay. He can move that much distance? I lived. Somehow. Get up, fix everything. His movement speed is just... What am I supposed to do about that? Straight into that. Yeah, stay out of the way of that. Donald, stay out of the way. Go anywhere else. Oh, I'm dead, I'm dead. You can summon the lightning thing and cover his animations. And then I don't know what I'm getting hit by. I also don't think like the like force choke bullshit has a range limit. It probably does, but as someone who has to fight in melee, it is effectively non-existent. I don't know about like Goofy's MP Rage, like if it's instance of damage or amount of damage. Because Goofy just keeps getting wiped, and that's restocking me with MP, but I don't know if it's restocking me fast enough to actually be able to use MP to fight. Because that might be like a viable to switch up to, but really doesn't look like it. But as for what I'm doing wrong, like trial and error of it requires probably more hours than this game in its entirety is worth. So I'm just gonna elect to not give a shit about it, I guess. Like, I've learned what there is to be learned from watching the boss and what it does. But there's obviously some other kind of data that I'm supposed to know somehow. It's not available in the game. You gotta learn it through somewhere else. So what I will do instead is I will play a little bit of Getting Over It for a bit. Let's get some Getting Over It in. Let's see. Where's, I can just close this game, honestly. We have moved nowhere from the last time we saved. We've made 0 progress. Nothing has changed. And we can just launch Getting Over It, which should innately work. Like I fixed it last time. If it doesn't, who fucking knows? Let's see. Getting Over It. Here we go. Let me double check my audio. It's not working as expected. I fixed it, but of course that doesn't mean it works. Yeah, we just have no audio. No, we do. We do have audio. It's just not correct at all. I'll take it. Because the only way to fix it to be correct is like to restart OBS. I'm not doing that.
There's no feeling more intense than starting over. If you deleted your homework the day before it was due, as I have, or if you left your wallet at home and you have to go back after spending an hour in the commute. If you won some money at the casino and then put all your winnings on red but it came up black. If you got your best shirt dry cleaned before a wedding and then immediately dropped food on it. If you won an argument with a friend and then later discovered that they just returned to their original view. Starting over is harder than starting up. If you're not ready for that, like if you've already had a bad day, then what you're about to go through might be too much. Feel free to go away and come back.
I disagree entirely. Although he did say might be, so I'll give him credit for that.
I'll understand if you have to take a break at any point. Just find a safe place to stop and quit the
Because this game is, in its essence, entirely harmless. It has a kind of weird control scheme through which absolutely no other game that you've played previously will have like a transferable skill set to. So you do have to start over when it comes to learning this originally. But you have full and total control over the character. Now, he bullshits you a little towards the end of the game, and he says, where you put your mouse, your hammer might not go, or whatever. And that's not necessarily true. He's like just trying to make you feel better for skill issue.
In it, your task is simply to drag yourself up a mountain with a hammer. That act of climbing,
But genuinely, you just go up in this game. And once you learn how to do it, you never forget. It's like riding a bike.
No amount of forward progress is guaranteed. Some cliffs are too sheer or too slippery. And the player is constantly, unremittingly in danger of...
And like when a kid falls off a bike, that's not the bike's fault. Kid doesn't know how to ride the bike.
Start sexy hiking, you're standing next to this dead tree that blocks the way to the entire rest of the game. It might take you an hour to get over that tree, and a lot of people never got past it. You prod and you poke at it, exploring the limits of your reach and your strength, trying to find a way up and over.
But not everything in life is like that. Not everything in life is a skill you can learn. You can learn relevant skills to increase your chances of getting what you want in almost every situation in life. There are going to be situations like poker. You could know all the hands. You could, though it's looked down upon, you could count whichever cards that you've seen, be like, alright, well, I know what I have in my hand. So what's most likely to come out in these hands here, or on the table there, is going to be not the cards that I have in my hand. You can
But I
you
couldn't
can do
bring
all the
myself
math involved,
It already felt like my inability to get past the nuance.
and you can place all your bets on the most likely scenarios,
Rather than as a builder. Imaginary
and
monsters
you can
remove
lose,
themselves from our efforts to climb,
despite that.
and it's our repeated attempts to reach the summit
With a
that turn those
skill,
mountains
like
into
riding a
stone.
bike, right? If you're doing it
When you're
correctly,
building a video game world,
if you're like on flat ground, you're gonna
and
pedal the
you're
bike,
working with quickset cement,
you're not gonna fall off,
mold your ideas into a certain shape,
because you already know how to ride the bike.
and in the process of playing with them, they begin to harden and set until they're immutable, like rock. And at that point, you can't change the world.
But if you ride the bike
Without
while
breaking it into pieces.
intoxicated, not recommended, but you can do so, I believe, privately on your own property,
For years now, people have been predicting that games would soon be made out
since
of
it's just a
fabricated
bicycle
objects,
and it's not on a road.
and assembled into a world. And for the most
But
part,
if you
they're
did that,
correct,
you could
because
fall
if
off the
objects
bike,
in the store
despite
are trash,
technically knowing how to
I
ride a
don't mean they
bike.
look bad or that they're badly made, although a lot of them are. I mean they're trash in the way that food becomes trash as soon as you put it in the sink.
But
Things
even
are made to be
yet, at
consumed
that point,
only
you've done it
in a
wrong.
certain context.
Like, you've made a
Moments
mistake
of
while riding the bike. The
transformative
bike has
moments.
done nothing.
In the context of technology, those moments pass by in seconds.
But the order in which cards come out in
Over time,
poker
we've poured more and more refuse
is
into
not
this
at all
digital
dependent on you.
landfill that we call the internet. It now vastly outnumbers and outweighs the things that are fresh and untainted and unused.
You can't do anything
What
wrong
else is cultural
to
trash?
make the
Trash
card
becomes
that
the
you
new
don't
media,
want come out in
the lingua
poker.
franca of the digital age. And you can build culture out of trash, but only trash culture. Be
You're
gaming,
resigning
be
yourself to
music,
something that is
be music,
not you.
be philosophy. Maybe this is what digital culture is.
Which there's like a strange lack of ego in that.
Creativity's fountain. A landfill with everything we ever thought of in it. Grand.
Or maybe a lot of it, depending. If you're entirely certain that you are not at all in control of your own fate, your certainty is in and of itself an ego. You're defining yourself by your inability to control anything.
Kanye and Taylor Swift mashups, car crash epic failed GIFs, Russian dashcam vids, discussions of McRibs, discarded, forgotten, unrecycled, muddled, rotten, untitled. Everything's fresh for about 6 seconds, until some newer thing beckons, and we hit refresh. And there's years of persevering, disappearing into the pile, out of style, out of sight.
I've done this fairly recently, but the last time I did it, I was, I think I was awfully tired. I think I did it pretty well last time. A hell of a lot better than I'm doing now, anyway. What I'm saying is maybe the practice didn't really stick.
Taunting you, resetting and delaying you. Players played stoically. Now everyone's turned off by
Despite my remembering it theoretically,
quick fix for the fickle, some tricks for the clicks of the feckless.
memory on it's not exactly clear.
You could swallow a baseball bat.
I have a rough idea where the points on this are.
On YouTube or Twitch, while some dude with 10 million views does it for you, like a baby bird being fed chewed up food. That's culture too.
But not exactly. And they're not, like, visible unless you're in them.
The saying is, trash is disposable, but maybe it doesn't have to be approachable. What's the feeling like? Are you stressed?
He's just yapping, by the way, at that point.
Feeling frustrated. It's underrated. An orange is sweet, juicy fruit locked inside a bitter peel. That's not how I feel about a challenge.
Like, I don't think Bennett Foddy, like Mr. Bennett Foddy, has the same views on RNG as I do.
It feels like we're closer now. Composer
I don't think he thinks it makes games worse. I just think he didn't happen to use it.
There was something in you that was hidden, that chose to continue. It means a lot to me that you've come this
Like,
far.
I'm not sure
Enjoyed
he
this much.
is...
Every wisecrack,
I'm not
every
sure he has
setback,
opinions
every setback you've
on
forgiven
people who,
is
like,
a
speedrun this
tingle
game.
that you've given me.
Like, there's people that get it to just over a
We have the
minute.
same taste, you and I. It's not ambition.
Oh, it doesn't exhaust me. I could do it a bunch more times after this, actually.
Taste defeat. You'll feel
This
bad if you
is
win.
most definitely a
It's
comfort
sneaky
game
for
for
you.
me.
Have you thought about
because it's something you take gradually,
Man in the pot,
and
I
as
use
long as you
his
don't let it get to you,
I use hand. I use the top of his hammer.
which just requires a little bit of certainty in yourself,
Where your hand moves, the hammer may not follow.
it just gets consistently easier.
Nor the man's hand. In this year is will, his intent, the embodied resolve in his uphill ascent.
Now, it feels like cheating, but the first time I'd ever beaten this game, I'd already seen it done.
The eyes click, the platforms,
Like, I'd seen somebody get up to
the living room,
space and exit the game, right? Like, right here.
ground, the construction.
And you know, once you know it can be done, there's no uncertainty anymore. Like, you can know theoretically that something can be done. But without actually seeing it, that belief is, you know, it's only a theory.
There's no feeling more intense than starting over. If you deleted your homework the day before it was due, as I have, or if you left your wallet at home and you have to go back after spending an hour in the commute. If you won some money at the casino and then put all your winnings on red but it came up black. If you got your best shirt dry cleaned before a wedding and then immediately dropped food on it.
But once you see someone do it, even if they do it in a way that you're not going to be doing it in your first way around, which I certainly wasn't going to be mimicking the speed, which the first time I saw it done happened. It was sort of all I needed to know. I was like, I could do it. Here was a really interesting point for me, like at the start of the game, because I didn't know how to do it for the longest time, and I just kept trying at it. I ended up changing my strategy towards the end because I got it a lot more consistently, doing it a way I didn't think would work. But once I got that part of the game, that little, I guess, I don't know what it's called, that little bit with the lanterns, once I had that consistent, there was quite literally nothing at this game could throw at me that I wasn't convinced I would just get. Even if it took a little bit of a minute. Which is why, like, learning slide skip, I didn't really have a problem doing all the attempts it took to understand how it worked and just do it. And it's just, well, it's a hell of a lot easier than going around the other way.
No amount of forward progress is guaranteed. Some cliffs are too sheer or too slippery. And the player
But you know, I never once thought, hey, I'm not going to be able to do this.
Anyway, when you start sexy hiking, you're standing next to this dead tree that blocks the way to the entire rest of the game.
This is also a kind of like minimalistic game in that all of the information that you could possibly need about the game is just there within experimentation range. You can touch every material with your hammer, see how the friction works, see how it reacts, see how you push off it at what speeds, see how much grip you have on something, if you can like catch yourself on it when you fall or not. All of that's just right there to learn. It's all within the reach of your hammer.
The obstacles in sexy hiking are unyielding, and that makes the game uniquely frustrating.
But like in an RPG, as much as I like them for how flashy they are and a lot of the like world building and abilities they have, if something has like a strange elemental weakness, the only way you're ever going to know that, unless it outright tells you, which a lot of things like won't give you a method of learning otherwise, is to try every type of attack in the game on them. And when you start thinking of like the hours that the game will want you to put in to learn that, by the time you know there is all there is to know about a game that you love, the next game in the series will be out. And some of that information is going to change and not be as useful to you. Which is absolutely fine and nice if you're like the completionist type and you're like, alright, well that's lasted me from one game long enough to get to the next game. And I've done everything that game has to offer. But what if you like more than one video game? What if you have more than one hobby? What if you have genuinely anything else to do with your life than learn all the information that game has to offer? Well then, what you have is you have other people who are playing the game and doing that can tell you all this information sort of band together, find it out, or you can just have an incomplete experience of the game where there could be like mechanics, minor or major, that you're just unaware of or don't know how they work. You didn't get to use or test or try. You know, maybe a class type that you never got to experiment with, or a weapon you never used that has some strange interaction that would have been fun for you.
This is what digital culture is. A monstrous mountain of trash, the ash heap of creativity's fountain. A landfill with everything we ever thought of in it. Grand, infinite, and unsorted.
But I'm of the personal belief that if you're going to sell someone a product,
There's 3D models of breakfast. Gen X's fan fiction.
if you're selling a product to them, that's not just a product for you anymore. Like, you can build it and you can put things in, you're like, oh, that's cool, that's a cool thing for me that I like and that I know. But make it available in the game, like, through information. Don't just have somebody, like, happen upon it, maybe years after the game's release, in this thing that specifically only you, the creator of the game, is going to enjoy until then. Like, there's some value in having a few little Easter eggs like that. But when you're gonna do that, just make it an Easter egg. Don't make it like something that mechanically changes your game. Don't make it like part of the content that people pay for, that they're not getting and have no idea. At least that's my philosophy when it comes to like building a game.
There's no feeling more intense than starting over. If you deleted your homework the day before it was due, as I have, or if you left your wallet at home and you have to go back after spending an hour in the commute. If you won some money at the casino and then put all your winnings on red but it came up black. If you got your best
And the use of RNG, of course, is something that's perfectly fine in a game.
If you won an argument with a friend and then later discovered that
Your game's entire concept can run on certain RNG engines,
harder than starting up.
but
If you're not ready for that,
you're gonna
or you've
want
already had a bad day, then what
you're
about
gonna
to go
want
through
the
might
game to have like
You'll
some
go
key
and
RNG that goes into some key mechanics. Be like, okay, this is the range between here and here
Thanks for coming with me on
that
this
these
journey.
numbers are gonna come out
I
at,
understand if you have to take a break at any point.
and that's what's gonna like give this a bit of variation,
Don't worry.
a bit of difference between playthroughs.
Even your mistakes. This game is a homage to
But when you start using RNG to decide everything in your game, you're having the number generator stand in place of a mechanic you were supposed to make.
As the father of B games. And B games are rough assemblages of found objects. Designers slap them together.
Because when you make any mechanic in a game, you're faced with the question of, oh, how should I make this work? And it's a very easy answer to just say, let's just make it RNG. Like, how do I make this decision? How should I have the game make this decision? And it's always very, very easy to make it RNG.
In it, your task is simply to drag yourself up a mountain with a hammer. And that act of climbing in the digital world.
But a game can have a hell of a lot more uniqueness to it. If you just let it cook for a little bit longer and give it its own ways of making decisions that can be like based on something in the game. Be like, okay, this mechanic can work this way based on that. And then if you're just in the habit of using RNG, you'll end up doing things like, okay, I'll have it work this way because of this, but only sometimes. Because I want to include RNG, because everything else in the game is RNG. And at that point, you're faced with the knowledge situation again, where if those numbers are hidden, people are like, okay, so if I do this, will it increase my chance of this? I mean, they won't know. They could have very swingy RNG. The RNG could just roll worse for them when they're doing the thing that gives them better odds, because that's how RNG works. It can just give you bad rolls.
And it's authentic to the process of building a game about climbing.
And if trial and error is how they're supposed to learn what does what, then there's no real way to learn that piece of information except maybe data mining your game. And then you'll get like you'll get little legends and tales about, oh yeah, if you press the A button or the B button or the X button or the letter T on your keyboard at this precise time, you will increase your chances of getting the desired outcome. And people will just have as much wrong information about your game as they have correct information.
And at that point, you can't change the world, not without breaking it into pieces and starting fresh with new ideas. For years now, people have been predicting that games would soon be made out of prefabricated objects, bought in a store and assembled into a...
And there could be arguments for doing it that way. You're like, okay, I don't want people to learn enough about my game that they can exploit my game. That they can sort of step outside of the rails that I've made, right? Because I've just made this entire big railway system where it's a little open, it's different each time, it's not just the same. I'm not just forcing you to do the same thing over and over. But if you knew everything about it, you could just consistently find the most efficient route, and no one would ever do all the other stuff in my game. But there's got to be other solutions.
When everything around us is cultural trash, trash becomes the new medium, the lingua franca of the digital age. And you can build culture out of it.
I'm not saying everything about your game has to be like open information. Don't just like spoil the ending of your game right at the beginning of your game. Be like, okay, this is how to do everything in my game. This is when you're gonna unlock this and this and this. You don't gotta worry about that. Like, yes, games are supposed to, on many occasions, have a second playthrough. Although, consider that in your design philosophy when you decide the length of your game. If you want somebody to do a second playthrough of your game, and it's a really, really long game, consider who you're marketing it towards. Like, who's your target audience for a game like that? Are they people that don't play very many other games? Are they people without jobs? Are they people that are going to do it, you know, month by month, year by year, in different bits and pieces? And eventually do all that content in different playthroughs? Because if that's who you're marketing it to, that's fine.
In this context, it's tempting to make friendly content that's gentle.
Where are the horns? Well, you see these six little lights around my head. Those are what the horns are. Horns are sort of a representative name for these. They're more like torches. But I designed the mask around sort of hosting these in a way that was aesthetically pleasing. And thus I became the six-horned Taurus.
There's no feeling more intense than starting over. If you deleted your homework the day before it was due...
And hey, Iona, welcome in. How are you? I've been doing a lot of getting over it. Which is the thing I do when I rage quit any other game. I normally have this on a redeem, which I think I'm gonna potentially lower the time limit on again, or come up with a redeem that is valid during getting over it to increase the chance that I'm gonna go over my time limit to do it. Oh yeah. It's easy to say and maybe not so easy to do, but like if you just don't let the game get to you, it becomes so much easier.
Don't worry, I'll save your
Like, one thing is you sort of have to accept that at any point you can fall and lose all your progress. It's not an incredibly long game. The goal of it is pretty simple. You're just going up until you reach the top.
And B games are rough assemblages of
So like when you lose progress in it, you're not really losing
very
much.
quickly and freely. And they're often too
You're
rough
just gaining a new opportunity to practice the obstacle again.
They're built more for the joy of building them than for quality products.
Whoops. See, there it goes.
In a certain way, sexy hiking is the perfect embodiment of a B game. It's built almost entirely.
It'll especially not be easy with me in your chat saying, easy game, just go up. What are you doing, streamer? Just go up. Because I do that to everyone, and nobody likes it. Whoops. I lived. I did not fall. Fully intentional, by the way.
And the player is constantly, unremittingly in danger of falling and losing everything. Anyway, when you start sexy hiking, you're standing next to this dead tree that blocks the way to the entire rest of the game. It might take you an hour to get over that tree, and a lot of people never got past it. You prod and you poke at it, exploring the limits of your reach and your strength, trying to find a way up and over. And there's a sense of truth in that lack of compromise. Most obstacles in video game worlds are fake. You can be completely
Well, you know, I'm going... See, I'm even about to go down a little bit.
or the correct equipment or just by spending enough time.
But the ultimate goal is to go higher up. This is just going to the next location, which brings me further up here. See, I'm going up. Don't you see?
But I'm not sure yugioh intended to make a frustrating game. The frustration is just essential to the act of climbing, and it's authentic to the process of building a game about climbing. A funny thing happened to me as I was building this mountain. I'd have an idea for a new obstacle, and I'd build it, test it, and it would usually turn out to be unreasonably hard. But I couldn't bring myself to make it easier.
I got a question for you. Do you mute Bennett Foddy when you play the game?
It's my fault, as a player rather than as a builder.
Well, that is going to be sort of a survivorship bias view there, Ziona, because the people that play this game, like majoritively in the modern day, are people that like this game. The people that like this game play it an awful lot, or have played it an awful lot, and it's an awful lot like riding a bike. Once you know how to do it, you're not really going to fall off the bike as much.
And at that point, you can't change the world. Not without breaking it into pieces.
Alright, so you don't mute him. You listen to the ramblings of this man. Because a few of the things he says about his design philosophy about the game, they seem a little dishonest. Whoa. Whoa. Am I gonna live? Ah ha ha ha, that was the coolest thing I've ever done in this game. That is the best save I have ever pulled.
Trash in the way that food becomes trash as soon as you put it in the sink. Things are made to be consumed and used in a certain context.
Yeah, people who play this game sort of willingly play it an awful lot.
Over time, we've poured more and more refuse into this vast digital landfill that we call the internet. It now vastly outnumbers.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I thought I had it there. I thought it was over.
Around us is cultural trash. Trash becomes the new medium.
We're close.
The lingua franca of the digital age. And you can build culture out of trash.
Ah, God damn it. Almost. Haste has made waste here.
Maybe this is what digital culture is. A monstrous mountain of trash, the ash heap of creativity's fountain. A landfill with everything we ever thought of in it. Grand, infinite.
You can definitely get to the point where you can just program this into your muscle memory. And here I sort of just have it roughly in my muscle memory, enough to be able to more or less do it. Which means after a few attempts I've got it.
Discarded, forgotten, unrecycled, muddled, rotten, untitled.
You know, as he says, poke and prod at the limits of your reach with the hammer. You slowly figure out and learn how the game works. How all the different materials work.
this context,
where you
it's
sort of
easy
have
make
to
friend
do
with
your hops and jumps
gentlemen
to
that let you
from.
churn through it but not earn it. Why make something demanding if it just gets piled up in the landfill, filed in with the bland things?
There we go. There's another run. 204. Do we go for 205 today? Do we go for 200 more even? Not 200 more, because that would be, let's see, taking this 6 minutes and 25 seconds, right? Taking that, say for some reason that was our average. Say my hand did not at all get tired from all of the getting over it. 6 minutes, 25 seconds, 200 times. I don't have the math on hand. I'm not good enough at math to do that in my brain. 6.25. That's not correct. It would be 25 seconds would be 6 points. Closer to 6.45? 6.4? I'm gonna say 6.4. Alright. 6.4, right? Multiply that by 200. Alright, and then divide it by 60. Oh boy. That would take 21 hours plus. That's how long that would take. If I could maintain this speed, keep playing getting over it, it would take that long. Now let me have a thought about that, right? This is an important thought. Because I'm looking at the time of day it is, and roughly, let's see, roughly, how long would it be? Roughly 21 hours from now would be, so minus 3. That would be after half midnight. That would be well into the corpse string. And that would be unacceptable. So we can't do that. We cannot attempt to go for the full 200 today. I was just thinking, theoretically, would it be possible? And no. I could easily get that number up to 300. When I say easily. I'd probably hate the game by then. Maybe not. I love this game. I love this game a lot. Maybe I'd be able to play it for this long. I don't know. But for now, I'm going to take a quick BRB and feed you all to Jeffrey Bezos so that he doesn't get hungry as often later. I will see you soon. Alright, we're on the Kingdom Hearts layer, which should just... There we go, getting over it. Right there. So it does do that. I had this whole thought process I was on. Oh yeah, it was about how many times I could beat this game. And also design philosophy and whether or not RNG is good or bad. Spoilers, I think it's bad, mostly. I think it has its place, and people jump to it way too often to replace any and all effort, but, you know, it's like people want to put all of their effort and budget into the aesthetic design of a game, and they want all the numbers to be decided randomly. And then even when they do work in the numbers, they just get so into the habit of using RNG that they make RNG affect all of their intended mechanics so that they'll work whatever way that they're intended to work sometimes. As if too much consistency is a crime. But the reason I went in that whole rant earlier was to sort of just give such an idea of why I love this game so much. Is because it doesn't do any of that. It doesn't worry about any of that. It's not like, you know, sometimes if you launch at this speed off of this, it'll be this speed, and sometimes it'll be this other speed. No, it's all in how you move your mouse, or your trackpad, or your controller thumbstick if you're psychopathic playing this, I guess. I do intend to learn to play the game somewhat, like on Steam Deck controls. That's going to be a mix of the thumbpad and a trackpad, or the thumbstick and a trackpad. And the reason it's gonna be that mix is because for finer, more precise movements, I'll be using the trackpad, and for much faster movements, where I need to get a lot of height to launch, I'm gonna end up using the thumbstick. And eventually I'll beat the game that way. And maybe I'll play it more that way. Because the thing is, with this game, I know for a fact, eventually, even with the control system being like entirely different, very difficult, me fumbling about and having absolutely no idea what I'm doing, falling at the earliest obstacles, I'll eventually be pretty damn consistent at it if I keep practicing. I will be able to get to the top of the mountain doing that. Like, this game is good. And this is a thing that he actually goes on about, like right now, for example, is he goes on about whether an obstacle is real or not. And an obstacle is real, he says, if you don't know you can beat it. Which means, with his divine design philosophy, getting over it might not be like a success of a game. Of course, it's a great success, made him a lot of money, and it got a lot of people playing it, got a lot of eyes on it. It frustrated people as much as he'd hoped it would. But beyond that, you know, in his idea, like, it's now being consumed outside of the context. So is it trash? He's probably done with it. It's probably nothing to him anymore. He probably has no real thoughts of it in his mind, other than what it was in the context as a memory. Because the game now, it's not a real obstacle for anyone, you know? Because they know if they have the right strategy or they spend enough time, they will beat the obstacle.
Things are made to be consumed and used in a certain context, and once the moment is gone, they transform into garbage.
There we go.
In the context of technology, those moments pass by in seconds.
Like, I wonder how early after the release of this game did he consider it to be no longer relevant? To him, at least.
It now vastly outnumbers and outweighs the things that are fresh and untainted and unused.
I'll just take a sip of my Iron Brew here. Shoutouts to Iron Brew.
The new medium, the lingua franca of the digital age. And you could build culture out of trash. But
That's nice.
culture. Be games, be movies, be music, be philosophy. Maybe this is what digital culture is. A monstrous mountain of trash, the ash heap of creativity's fountain. A landfill with everything we ever thought of in it. Grand, infinite, and unsorted. There's 3D models of breakfast. Gen X's fan.
So you're saying B, right? And a B in a grading system is not a failure.
Facebook's got lifelike bots with unbranded adverts and candid shots of Kanye and Taylor Swift.
But it's never your first pick, never your first choice.
Failed GIFs, Russian dashcam vids, discussions of
Which is an interesting place for this game to be at.
unrecycled.
Because is it anyone's first choice? Is it anyone's favorite game? Probably someone's favorite game.
Everything's fresh for about 6 seconds until some newer
Like, what kind of relationship with the game does the #1 speedrunner of it have?
persevering, disappearing into the pile, out of
What about
style.
the second fastest, the third? What do they think of the game? What does the game mean to them? Because if it's a B game, right? It does not imply it's second to an A. It's nobody's first choice. But here I am coming to a genre that they call like a rage game. Specifically only this version, or this game, right? And I am just enjoying it in a relaxed fashion. Now here we go. I had to tab out for a second there. Had a message. I'll probably go deal with that soon. Maybe after this attempt. Don't really get a ping for that while I'm streaming, you see? Because that's just how streamer mode works.
If you got your best shirt dry cleaned before a wedding and then immediately dropped food on it. If you won an argument with a friend and then later discovered that they just returned to their original view. Starting over is harder than starting up. If you're not ready for that, like if you've already had a bad day, then what you're about to go through might be too
Starting over should always be easier than starting up.
I'll be here.
Because you bring the experience with you. You're always going into NG plus of in life, right? If you're taking a second attempt at something that you've already done partially at least before, right?
Don't worry, I'll save your progress always.
You're taking with you the previous experience of having done it.
This game is a
Now, what he's saying about starting over being harder than starting up, right? That's he's probably referring to an emotional aspect involving the feeling of loss, losing the progress that you had. So as long as that's a tangible, real thing to you, as long as you take something for granted, then losing it, like, does bring that feeling of loss, because you're not at all prepared for it, or ready for it.
And it's one of the most unusual and unfriendly games of its time. In it, your task is simply to drag yourself up a mountain with a hammer.
And when you're losing, you don't have the same morale and motivation as you would on, you know, a winning streak.
No amount of forward progress is guaranteed. Some cliffs
Some people have strategies which help better that. They can take and sort of reverse a situation where, because they're not winning, they can turn that into morale. And you'll learn about things like that on sports teams and other bullshit like that.
You prod and you poke at it, exploring the limits of your reach and your strength, trying to find a way up and over. And there's a sense of truth.
I'm actually gonna shut this guy up. I've heard him so many times today. Let's see. I'll lower him. That'll do. Did I turn him off? Oh, he's just so low I can't hear him. You guys might still be able to hear him. I don't know. But he is like a mouse's whisper to me. Fuck, what was I saying? Oh yeah, being able to convert like a losing situation into morale to be able to like still give your best, right? But in a general sense, usually if you're losing, morale's a lot harder to come by than it is otherwise. So you sort of have to think about like where the goalposts are and what winning and losing is to you. What is your goal? You know, if you want to get up to the top of the mountain, that's where you get the you win screen, right? Getting further away from that, are you losing? Like, but then you got to consider, right? Not every single hammer swing that you take is bringing you directionally upwards. So I dipped down for a second there to catch something and spring myself up. For that half a second or whatever, was I losing? I went down, didn't I? And the goal was up. But that's not how that works. And when you fall and lose a tangible amount of progress, are you losing? I mean, if you're a speedrunner, you've lost that run, right? That's not the goal of the game. And in everybody's first playthrough, right? It's a game that's notorious for being difficult. They want to be able to say they've beaten it. Their goal is just to get to the top, right? Your goal isn't, I'm going to get to the top and then I'm going to do it again. Because if you're frustrated and not getting what you want out of the game, it might not be such a fun experience. You might think, I'm never going to do this again. Me, I had quite a different experience than that with this game. Because I would always come to this game after a game like did something that I had no control of. Like it could be an online game that I get like kicked from a server of. I could have some like lag or delay that ends up getting me shot around a corner that apparently I'm still not around on my opponent's screen. Like something out of my control has taken away from me in a game. And when I came to this game, I knew that every like movement of the mouse was within my control. So even though I didn't know how to play very well, I wasn't very good at it, I wasn't climbing very fast. And then I knew that every direction I moved was on me. It was my fault. Although to call it a fault might not be entirely fair. Push off over here kind of gently. And that should be it. That was going to be a longer run there. That was shorter than last time? Really? I'm kind of shocked by that. Stop to sip my iron brew. Ah, yes. Let me respond to that message real quick. Typing noises, if they're coming through. Enjoy those. Alright. Where's my getting over it? Where's my comfort game? So moving back around to the point where the thing that would drop your morale and to make you have a harder time starting over than starting up, which he goes on about right at the start of this game, would be the loss of morale. It would be the feeling of loss that you get from taking for granted your situation and that situation changing. You know, when you feel like you're losing, you feel like you've lost something. And you might have only lost progress towards winning. And even if you're someone that takes that kind of thing in stride, that becomes like a fact in your mind. It's like, well, I just lost. I have a feeling of loss here. Even if I don't mind losing, even if I think losing is a step towards winning, maybe I expected to win. Or maybe I thought, for a second there I had won, and that which was won has now been lost. In the context of getting over the thing that would have been won, would have been progress, and you lose that when you fall, that's not really true. You only ever gain more ability, more experience to climb, more knowledge about the game and how it works, how these obstacles sound and act when you hit them, how your pot moves along certain movements of the mouse being dragged along these objects that the hammer is now on. Every swing of the hammer, regardless of where it lands you, is a learning experience. Even if you think, oh, I already know not to do that, like my hand just twitched or whatever, you can still see, oh hey, this can send me off that kind of way. Maybe I want to be more careful around this area. Maybe I want to take this same momentum in a different direction in this area. And you can think of the materials and speed of the hammer and all the momentum you have and think, is that possible? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But when you go back to the start of the game, you haven't actually lost anything. Because in the end, if you don't give up on the game, you're going to get to the top. You're going to get that little you win screen. Does it have to be today? Does it have to be within 10 minutes? Not innately. Not according to the game. Not according to the task you've been given. If you give yourself another task to win or lose at on top of an already, namely difficult task, because this game, I have to say, it's a difficult game. One of those things that you can get better at to the point where it doesn't feel difficult anymore, but on its own, it's an entire new control scheme to learn. So if you take a difficult game that you've, never beaten yet, you give yourself another challenge on top of beating it, isn't the resulting failure of that challenge potentially just on you anyway? Isn't that a challenge that you've given yourself, not something the game has done? Even here, I come all the way up here, and I can go down here, and I haven't lost anything. Like, there I am, like right in the beginning scenery of the game. I got to watch that beautiful sky pass by me, and I haven't lost anything. Certainly not morale. I was never a sports coach or any kind of scientist or statistician. I'm not going to say I know the ins and outs of how morale affects your performance at something. But I've seen people play this game. And when they think they're losing, they are. So I guess anecdotally, that's something. That's some little piece of knowledge and experience you can take and be like, alright, well, I've learned something from it, haven't I? Is my conclusion correct? Maybe. I think it is. Is it peer-reviewed? Fuck no. Is it some pseudo-intellectual bullshit like Bennett Foddy spews at you the entire time you play this game? Also no. It's just, hey, I did this and I saw this. This is what I think it means. Can't really get much simpler than that, can you? This is a really fun game. Although, as I've said, I feel like I've taken it a little bit outside of its intended context by playing it the way I do. It's one of those games where if you get frantic, erratic, or just otherwise pressed in any way, you're likely to go for bigger movements, more aggressive movements, and those will just bounce you all the way off this wall here and straight out there and potentially back to the start of the game. There's no bats this time. There has been every other time before, because I've never really fallen down from there. But I took the snake that time, so I did. Again, unless I'm like doing the redeem, right? Where I say I have to beat it in 9 minutes, which I'm gonna mess with that value a little bit. As I've said, either that or make a redeem that I have to stop playing the game and do something while the timer's still running. Just so that I'm more likely to feel the challenge on the redeem to make the redeem more worth doing. Because on one hand, it's supposed to be an expensive redeem, but it can get cheaper if you gamble and win. I should at least make the gamble not rigged against you. But it's also a redeem that it makes sense to be one of the more expensive redeems because it interrupts whatever I'm streaming at the time with getting over it. You know, I take a brick and beat getting over it, as the redeem says. I wonder if there's another game in like a similar context, a similar way, or just in a similar way to the way I like this game, in its consistency and my own improvement at it, to the point where I could just play it in a kind of relaxed way and keep getting to the end screen. Perhaps not anywhere nearly as quickly, but I wonder if there's another game that I'll come to enjoy in the same way that I do this one. Alright, that's it, right? That's just enough momentum to make it. Maybe a little more than enough. But there I took the snake, and it took me more than 9 minutes. So I could put in a snake redeem, and it would definitely be a challenge for me to try and get up to where I could take the snake, and beat the game again. Although, that would be a redeem that would have to be probably as expensive as the getting over it redeem itself. I'm not sure how worth it that would be. But it's trying to, I guess, rig a gamble in your favor. could also do an actual prediction during getting over it. I could do a prediction on how much time it would take me. For if anybody wants to gamble with their points. Because at the moment, I don't have a lot of redeems. They're mostly just model swaps. So I could potentially make that something fun you could do with your points. There's always that. Or I suppose your time shards. I think that's what I called them. Little fragments of wasted time that always make their way back to me. Let me read this next message before I go. Yep. Regular update. As is the usual. No real change. Not a little bit of getting over it, maybe? I've been getting over it for a little bit. I have... How long are ads stopped for? My window is not really telling me. Pre-rolls are off for quite a while. So I have plenty of non-Bezos interrupted time, in which I can getting over it some more. I could also return to Panic Porcupine. But that's quite a few topic swaps in the one stream. I don't know if I want to go for it. Could. Let's see, what day is it? It's Friday. I'll be getting over it a few more times. Maybe do something else. I've never done the game in less than 5 minutes, to my knowledge. It's not a goal I want to outright set. Not that I'm worried about some sort of failure state. I don't mind not getting what I want, necessarily. Or in a situation where I don't get what I want. The not getting what I want is very, very rarely my issue with the situation. But at the moment, I'm not sure I feel like pushing against the game rather than with it. Pushing the limits of what I am capable of in the game. Taking riskier plays. Sort of changing up the experience from the more laid-back, relaxed environment that I've built within getting over it at the moment. Especially if I'm holding myself to 3 attempts, each of which I finish. Setting a time target feels an awful lot like a speedrunner mentality. And not that I don't like the methods of play that sort of are born off of speedrunning. The new ways to play a game that come out, because I love myself a new way to play a game I already love. The part that I'm not exactly keen on is the perfectionism. That's the exact type of thing that the design philosophy of this game kind of preys on. This game's kind of very hostile on you if you're afraid of failure. It's a place where the belief that you'll win will take you very far. Vertically speaking. To the top of the mountain, usually. And perhaps a little faster than before. You know, this game, in its own way, it's an art piece. The commentary makes it sell more than just its the map of the game and the physics, just how the game progresses naturally. The commentary that triggers both when you fall and just from getting to different points in the game. But it's an art piece a lot in the same way that a troll face styled in the form of a classical era painting would be an art piece. The goal of the art piece isn't necessarily to convey a message that's going to be understood. There to let you know what the art is and let you make your mind up on it. And perhaps outright antagonize anyone who doesn't like the art piece. But I wouldn't be in that group. A lot like, I'm sure everyone has a friend that is all over whatever the most recent skibbity meme is. I look at this classical era painting of a troll face. I think, damn, that's a nice piece of art. It appeals to me. Whoops. I'm not gonna miss this rock. I'm gonna land on it. There we go. Oh, fuck. Alright, well, it's gonna be... Oh yeah, I can get on this rock. Oh, shit. There we go. Hmm. I could definitely have restarted over those, 10 seconds. But again, if I agonize over a specific goal that wasn't the point of opening the game in the first place, I sort of fall into wanting something that I didn't come prepared to provide. Can I or will I ever get sub 5? Yeah, if I play the game enough. Probably naturally. Probably won't be trying to when I go for it. I didn't expect to accidentally take less than 6 minutes any of these times today. But it happened at least once, potentially twice. Sort of throwing myself in all the wrong directions on that wall there. Though not anymore. Hmm. That's a neat little detail about the game, that the closer or further you are from that little bell tower, the bell sound changes. There's really not an awful lot to this game, beyond what you see in a regular playthrough. Like, not really a lot of places or directions you can go. Like, if you throw yourself off the edge of the tower, you can access maybe one extra point. That looks a little different, or it might even just land you like back here, right? I think you land just above this, and in a little bit further to the right there. It's interesting that those cauldrons there might look an awful lot more like your cauldron if you're doing your first playthrough. But you know, you can totally get right up to the tower and throw yourself off the other edge, and it doesn't do much. Doesn't do much different. Oh, okay, that's almost the easiest thing I've ever done. Fortunately, not quite. But now it's the easiest thing I've ever done. I remember before I quite understood this jump, I used to go all the way up there. Up to the left. There's no real need to go that high to make the jump across. Once you sort of understand the interaction between your hammer and the snow, you're not really going to slip around as much. So you can make the jump pretty confidently by just digging your hammer into the snow. Catch yourself without just slipping off. In fact, in this run, let's visit that other location. Let's see if we can throw ourselves off the other side of the tower. Now there are a few ways to get stuck up here. You can get your hammer stuck under the trolley. Or shopping cart, I guess. That's what you refer to it as. The muscle memory wasn't muscle memorying for a bit. I think I'm reaching somewhere near the end of my arm's endurance, which is why I'm not going to go for the whole extra 100 attempts. That, and also I don't fucking want to. I'm just going to go for one more attempt after this one. Alright, let's see if I can... Because if I just hop off of this, it'll just lift me up into space, which I didn't want to do. That was, like, too high. But I'm gonna come off the space rock. There it is. Theophany of the Wise reference right there. Alright, and I can... No. Right, so I'm gonna just lower myself down. Okay, so that should just push me down enough till I fall. Or not, I'm coming back up. Because I don't know if straight down from there is going to be on either of the places I'm looking for. Because I either want to land right behind the tower, or at the place that I'm already going to be going from there. Alright. That's definitely enough speed. There we go. Right behind the tower. Now there's this whole place. You can't really jump up from there. You can sort of just slide down here. And you just land right there. So if I jump more, I can make it over that. I'll do that. I have time. Whoops. Hmm. Now this isn't my favorite game of all time, but it's definitely up there. I wonder when I'll next stream a little bit of Sonic Adventure. Might be relatively soon, actually. Because getting the parts that I need to use just actual GameCube hardware is proving a little, well, expensive. And probably also time-consuming. And it's one of those things, I don't want to spend the money unless I know for sure it'll work. And then returns involving an online purchase if it doesn't work. Just an awful lot of effort. So I might just resign myself to playing the Steam version. Which means I'll get the Steam Chivos as well when I play the game. I'll just be missing out on a little bit of the content unless I mod the game to include the content. And even then, it's not the same, because I won't be doing, like, actual GBA interactivity. But it's one of those games where, because it's my favorite game of all time, I'm probably just going to do it again when I'm ready to do it the other way. So there's not really anything lost by playing the Steam version, doing everything in the Steam version. So Sonic Adventure potentially soon might take the place of Kingdom Hearts. Given my recent Kingdom Hearts experience, I'm not sure I want to continue with Kingdom Hearts as a series. I've beaten Kingdom Hearts 1 normally. And I think that might be the extent of the content I'm interested in. Because unless there's something blatantly obvious I've missed, I don't think it's something that's going to interest me. Speaking of muscle memory, just general memory brought me straight back to the end of the game there out of habit, despite my wanting to go somewhere else. But habit does that to you. Sometimes you just want to see space. Sometimes you just want to get over it until there's no more over it to get. I'm gonna be honest, after today, probably over Kingdom Hearts. From what I've heard, absolutely nothing about the lore gets any clearer. And one of the things is, I'm not sure it's going to make like much of an indication between the stuff it wants you to question and the stuff it absolutely doesn't want you to question. The stuff that just is, and the stuff that like, oh, there's a reason for that. You should probably be asking why. And in my professional opinion, yep, I've definitely been paid for an opinion before. That's not a lie, totally. But in my opinion, those things should be distinct. Absolutely. you should know the stuff that they just want to throw a lampshade over and be like, alright, I'm going to ignore it. And you should look at other stuff and be like, yeah, I should be paying attention to this. Like, it shouldn't turn around and go like, oh, you weren't asking questions about this really obscure fact that was just an assumption up until now? You must be an idiot. Or, why are you asking about this? Don't you know you're just supposed to take that for granted? But that's the thing with creative pursuits. They're all built on some kind of trust. And if ever anybody breaks your trust in that sort of way, it can completely disincentivize your pursuit of their works. I fell from up here, didn't I? Did I? No, it can't have been up here. That was the first time the bats came out. Was it the orange? It's probably the orange area. I haven't fallen there in a while. But it's as sure sign as any. And that's it. That's 210. That's the height of our attempts for tonight. That is, we have gotten 11 overits today. Not including the one where we deliberately threw ourselves down from space. That counts as only one overit. So where do we go, though? Where do we end today's stream? Who are we taking ourselves over to, chat? That's the question. Question that ideally I'll answer for you. You won't need to. We could read into an offline chat. That would be a good bit. However, I don't think that would be very appreciated. We're gonna read into somebody who's doing a video game. And you know what? We're gonna read into somebody who's doing the video game. We all like the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, don't we? Let's go read Sleep Sea. Alright. And if we do a raid message at all, we are going to do Pot Friend. This fella here. Thank you everybody for coming by. I hope to see you in the next stream, which should be sometime soon. Maybe even tomorrow. Maybe even tomorrow. Wouldn't that be nice? Well, it might not be tomorrow. The Corpse Endurance stream and all that. But we'll see. We will see. Probably some Dragon Quest or Sonic Adventure. Maybe a little bit more Panic Porcupine. But for now, bye-bye.